As you may already know, systems are critical to the success of your business. But the question for you to consider is, how well equipped are you to evaluate your systems and to find out how well they're operating within your business? In other words, do you know how to evaluate your systems? I think without that critical skill, how do you know that changes you've made to your systems are actually working and they're actually no better than the system beforehand? So I'm going to take you through 4 simple steps which will help you understand how to evaluate your systems in your firm. The first step is to simply select your system. And by that the choice is yours. You could actually take one major operating system, or you could take a series of systems and look at their relative priorities, deal with the most urgent ones, and allow the others to continue to operate until you've got time to get to them. So having selected the system, you then determine the importance of the system. Now the importance, essentially, is the importance of the system not only to your business but to your customers. For an accounting firm, for example, producing a set of accounts, a professionally produced set of accounts, is very much a repeating activity, and it's obviously important. But the impact on the business and the customer, if that system is malfunctioning and goes wrong, is huge. So obviously for an accounting firm, that may be one of the areas to look at initially as a priority. So having determined the importance of the system, the third step would be to determine its effectiveness. And by effectiveness, I mean, how well is it really doing in what it's supposed to be doing? The system here, what I commonly term the black box, the inner workings of the system, is not the area. We're looking at what it takes to produce, what resources are taken to produce the output of the system, and the cost of it. So we're looking around the system rather than at the inner workings of it. And for inputs, for example, it would be staff costs, it could be equipment and material costs, informational costs, a whole series of various inputs specific to that system. The output would be, in an accounting firm, a professionally prepared set of accounts plus a byproduct, and often the byproduct is waste in the form of excessive time costs, deficits. And so the outputs are cleared there, and then the costs are directly attributable to the inputs that you've identified as being necessary to fulfill the effective operation of that system. And I think the important thing here in general terms is to ensure that you've got the right level of inputs at the right level of costs to produce the result you want each and every time, and it's consistent and predictable each and every time. Finally, once you've identified those aspects surrounding the system, we look at measuring. And essentially what we're doing is looking at taking out the most salient and relevant indicators to allow you to measure how well that particular system is doing. So for inputs and for outputs, we'd look at those key areas that you need to have measured for you. And we do that over 4 particular areas. We'd look at quantity. So the question then becomes how much, how many, and how fast, etc., etc. But it's what is the quantity required in a specific period of time. And you can identify those relevant indicators from the list of inputs that you've identified here and the 1 or 2 outputs you've identified there. Similarly, we also look at the quality. And quality essentially is consistency, it's excellence. But quality is what the customer says it is. And it could be high consistency and excellence, or it could be very low. So we have to state what the quality levels are for those specific elements of the inputs and outputs that you want to measure. The third measurement tool is timing. In other words, how fast, how slow. So for the accounting firm and the set of accounts, it may be expressed in turnaround times, 30, 60, 90 days, whatever. And then finally, the catch-all one is the intangibles. These are often things you can't specifically measure, but are nevertheless very useful to bring in. It could be the morale of the team, it could be the appearance, etc. But appearance of the work area. But it's looking at inputs and outputs over those 4 areas and extracting those relevant indicators that you feel are meaningful for you to determine how well or not your systems are actually performing. So that's step 4. And I think one of the critical things to remember is that your team members come into your business every day and they leave the business every day, but your systems stay in your business. They are a permanent feature of your business. And as a consequence, the better they are, and when I mean better, I mean the more effective and efficient those systems are, the more worth is added to your business. And just remember this, your people walk into your office every day, do their work, and then leave your office. But your systems, however, stay. They are a permanent feature of your business. And the better they are, and what I mean by better is the more effective and efficient they are, the more worth is added to your business. And as important, if not more importantly, the more value you're adding to your customer. So it really pays for you to evaluate your systems regularly, make sure they're working as efficiently and effectively as possible so that you have the best chance of success.